Brace yourself for a bit of John Lord. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. For those of you who like to know what the weather's like in England, it's mid-February and it's not too bad. It's the morning. Need another cup of coffee, if I'm honest. So, what I thought I'd do today is back to a little bit of music. I play in a band called Pure Purple, one of the few bands that I play in at the moment, and they're a good time sort of Deep Purple tribute band. And people are always asking me about how to play Burn. There are lots of different ways to play Burn. I'm going to show you how I play Burn, and maybe we'll get a bit of an insight into John Lord as well along the way. How does that sound? Okay, what I'll do first of all is I have a recording that we did in lockdown with myself and a few mates, my brother on guitar and the singer from Pure Purple on vocals, along with my wife doing the Glenn Hughes part. And I thought I'd play along to that, and then we'd have a look at that, and you can see some of the chords going on, and then we'll get into the nuts and bolts in a bit. How's that sound? So have a listen and a watch, see what you think. Back in a bit.
People are seeing the
Right, slight change of camera angle now because I want to get into a little bit more detail about the Hammond organ and the John business. So, ignore that, become useful. Let's talk about registrations for a second. Let's talk about drawbar. I've got it going away, so starting off basic and going away, 8888875200. There's a school of thought about this one here. Thank you. Having it down a little bit because it makes this a little bit loud, and I've noticed John Law did that on a few things, notably Child in Time, certainly. But anyway, so the registration is going to be like this at the top. The bottom is going to be my kind of registrations because I don't like the bass too loud because I've got a bass player, but I do use it for a bit of rhythm, and it does affect the sound. Okay. Other things that we're going to be using, we're clearly going to be using the Profcon ZD-01 overdrive. Because it's just beautiful and dirty, isn't it? Other things we're going to be using is the off-on vibrato swell right up the top here, which is going to be for the solo. Hear the difference? Put the Leslie on with it and you get a lot of that organ jump, that sort of solo jump sound that I heard John Lord do a fair bit, comes in there. Think about Hush as well, it's in there as well. Leslie's, I have a Leslie 122 over there with 3 mics on it. 2 SM57s at the top facing away and a Beta 52A kick drum mic at the bottom. And then behind you I've got a Marshall amplifier, a little cab, pumping out a DI signal from the Hammond C3. And increasingly I'm using that, and I'm hearing it used a little bit more as a bit of a solid at the bottom, a sort of bottom end of the mix, not the sub, but the bottom end of the mix. So I've been using that to a lot of effect lately, and I think it does come across in this song. So let's go through the basics. You can all get on to Google and you can all have a look at the chords, can't you? So you know the basic structure. So if you want to have a pause really and go to the chord charts, have a look at the chord charts. I'll put a link in the description for you, so you know the basic structure of the song. And what I'm going to go and do, I'll go through the way it's played. So the riff. I'll try and do it as slow as I can. My brain's got it on full speed, you see, so I'll get it right. I'll go so. That's the riff basically. Then you've got the verse moving between G and F. I watched the California Jam a lot when I was a kid, and I'm clearly interpreting that. So I'm not doing it exactly precisely. I don't think John Lord ever did it exactly the same twice. In fact, I know he didn't. So you're going. For the first half of the verse, then there comes the lick again. Then again. Still I hear. It's where the Leslie needs to come in. And off. Leslie comes straight off as the note comes off because you're going into the next bit. So. Okay, now there's a bit more going on, and that's the swoops coming in and why. However you want to do that. Some people go. I just go. And then the G and the F and the C business in the verse, it's a free-for-all. Do what you like. Really, whatever you like. The more John Lord you can be, the better, really. I mean, generally, you know. Then there's that little musical passage after that. Pretty simple, yeah. To the G minor, to the E flat, to the C minor. And off we go again. We've got another verse, we've got another chorus, and stops and starts all over the place, isn't it? And you'll notice the stops and starts before the solos give it the da-da-da-dum, and after the solos just go straight in. Right. There's a middle 8 bit, which is beautiful. I tend to back off a little bit. You may have seen me do that, and I pull in a couple of those drawbars. So. Okay, so more drawbars out, backed off a little bit, the volume goes up and the Leslie goes up a bit later on. So D minor, you know we had no time, B flat, and then this, end on that A minor there. So and then we're going to go B flat to D minor, so it spins the other way around. And then just a. And those tight susses there will come into the solos later. You can hear how John Lord's put those into the solos later. Hey. I'll do that again because I messed it up. And then off we go again. The guitar solo, the back of the guitar solo, as I recall, is something I always forget, and I always tend to play it right live, but it's going to go something like G to F, as you'd expect, to G. Pretty much expect that. Second time around, it seems to hold on the G. D's, quite easy really, isn't it? So you got G's, G minors, F's, C's, and then this little bit at the end. And then you get into the bit that I play the guitar part, the melodic part, with the guitar player live. Not entirely sure it was done in the studio, but let's have a go. So we're just whizzing around the chords, the bass chords there in the writing version. And you notice at the G at the end there, I'm killing time and filling time, and on the California Jam there's a few little bits. All those kind of little weird things that John Lord put in. At full speed. Yeah, okay, and then there's a G minor to a C minor bit. Or, and then we're back into the riff again. It's a long way coming. This is to explain where the organ solo comes, because that's where the meat is, and that's where it's going to get a bit scary. But we'll have a go. So then after that, you've got the riff, as you know, but then straight back into the bridge section. And that's where the organ solo is. Now, as that's building up, there's a lot of buttons to press and things to pull before we get into the solo. So I tend to go... So you see the drawbars have come out to the right place now, the Leslie's come on, and all that remains for me to do is to press the vibrato swell when I come back out. Alright, here we go, good luck everybody. Alright, so first bit, so that's the 7, isn't it, of the G, so... Very hard to play slowly. I'm sorry, but see that? And then the bit that's very hard to play fast is simply going down G minor and F. Remember the verse, the G minor and the F. So yeah, you recognise that bit. So always get that wrong whenever I'm playing it. I try my best, but yeah, I can't. But I mean, it gets the point across, doesn't it? Because then that gets you into this bit which I play slightly wrong, I think. Oops. Which is just a vehicle really for you to get to an octave. Okay, so you got the yeah. It's hard. My brain has trouble doing the. Then there's a couple of chords which sound beautiful. It's going to go for it. It's going to go D major, A minor, and then this weird one. And then we're into madness, obviously. Loads of overdubs. It's quite complicated. I play that was on the California Jam, I think, which is the cheap version. The cheap version. So instead of doing all that kind of stuff, I'm just going like I did under the guitar part. Yeah. And by the time you get to the end, I was talking to a few organ players, and by the time you get to the end of that solo, that chromatic run just feels so painful and wrong. Yeah. I don't know why it is, but it just does. So that's the solo. It's not as slow as I can do it. I mean, it's about as slow as I can do it, but it's not as slow as maybe you want to do. It's hard to get yourself around that. But I'll try one more. And then madness. The rest of the song really follows suit. There's a little bit at the end which is similar to the under the guitar solo, but finishes on the G for the end of the song. So that's a whistle-stop tour of the song Burn. It's interesting to see where John uses the drawbars and also the swell. I wish I could play it a little bit better, but it's early morning and I haven't had my third cup of coffee yet, but you get the idea. So I hope you found that interesting. I can do more of these if you want them as well. A few people have asked, which is why I'm doing this one today. Certainly, obviously I gig regularly with the entire sort of Mark II, a little bit of Mark III Deep Purple set. It's not perfect, not at all, but it is the way I play them. Sometimes I play them a bit better, but it is kind of the way I play them. So if you're interested in those, give me a shout, and I can easily do a few more of those. So I'll take requests, but not that one. Thanks ever so much for listening and watching. I hope you found this useful. More interviews on the way. We've got some great people lined up for that as well. And if there's anything you want in the meantime, Hammond related, piano related, synth related, you name it, I'll try and do it. I'll speak to you later. Thank you.